pledge, please.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Peter Somerville, Town Councilman.
Ed Denarkin, Town Councilman.
John Dolce, Town Supervisor.
Joe Ryan, Town Attorney.
Randy Bates, Town Councilman.
Ryan Wood, Town Councilman.
Victoria Craver, Town Council.
Okay. Moving on. Any audience comments? No audience comments, so we'll move on to the minutes, October 24th, regular meeting minutes. Everyone got a chance to review them? I need a motion to,
I move we accept the minutes from the regular meeting on October 24th.
A second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Public hearing on the preliminary budget.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of the public hearing on the preliminary budget of November 4th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Very good. There's no budget modifications or transfers. Once again, I make a motion to pay all signed vouchers and bills.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Reports, supervisor. So we've received our third sales tax check of $219,527.64. We have one more check coming that'll be applied to the 2024 sales tax revenue. And we only need $9,220.77 to meet that budget. So that's excellent. I met with a few things, but I met with Hilltown Commons, which was the Carry Center. And their names are Virginia Thompson and Doug Parvis. There are about, I want to invite them here. So there's about a dozen members of the board, and they're all residents of Rensselaer. They're not outsiders, they're not from the city, they're all residents. And they want our help in making this work. And I'm excited about making it work. But I told them they have to come here, explain to what's going on. Like they want to open up, right now they do pizzas, they do brunches. All the businesses that are in Rensselaerville, I want them to come here and tell us what they're doing so we could support them. I actually plan on having my company Christmas party at Hilltown Commons this year, if they could accommodate, so that's something that I've had that in the past, and it was awesome. They were great. So I'm hoping to continue that. But there's many businesses that are opening and we don't know about it. So I want to really push them to come and explain what they're all about. I was excited that they're all live in Rensselaer. Okay. Also, good news is that we've got plans for the water district, and I'll have Ed will discuss that. We've got information on Bogue, Brian, which the town attorney will discuss that. And we've got the code enforcement, he'll discuss that. We've got some of these blighted buildings that we have charged fees for that are transferring hands now. And bringing up getting rid of the blighted buildings, that was my goal. And that's about it for me.
I make a motion to accept the supervisor's report.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 The accountant is not here. He's sick again. Oh, but he presented us with the budget, Town of Rensselaer budget versus actual expenditures, ending October 31st of 2024. So anyone could peruse that and see where we stand. How much was budgeted and how much is actual and what's left. So the budget worked out very well for 2024. Once again, you just check that out, and if you have any questions, let me know. So there is no account report. I just want to bring that up. The attorney, Bill Ryan.
Two things. Shortly after our meeting last month, I received a decision from Judge Lynch on the Bogue matter. He granted our application and he directed us to establish a trust so that 90% of the interest that was earned during any particular year could be used for whatever the town board decides to use it on. I phoned, at John's suggestion, the Bank of Greene County to see if there was a trust officer involved who could draft the trust agreement and invest the funds for us. And I was told by the president of the bank that they don't do trust work. So I reached out to the Boston Spa National Bank. They're getting me a proposal, and I also reached out to Capital Bank and Trust Company, and they're going to get me a proposal within the next week. So when I get that information, I'll send it along to John to disseminate to all of you. But we obtained through court order everything that we asked for in terms of the percentage of money to be distributed on an annual basis. The other matter that I've been working a lot on is with the water. And I don't want to mispronounce her name, but Jaren is doing a tremendous job.
She is.
It's superlative. And she is getting this teed up. And Edwin, you've been incredibly thorough and marching along here, and you're to be commended. We're getting there. Next week, I learned today that there's going to be a meeting, virtual. I think you're on the email today with EFC.
Right.
To talk about the granting, the grants and the funding and the hardship status. So that's moving along, and it's certainly not moving at a snail's pace. It's moving with some alacrity, which is a good thing. So that's where I'm at, and that's my report. I know you'll fill in the blanks. That's where we're at.
About the bond.
Mhm.
We have the $750,000 interest-free loan. Can that be used as part of this bond?
To pay back the $63,000 that you paid to CT Mail.
Yes.
We'll talk about that on Tuesday.
We'll learn about that next week.
On Tuesday. The other thing I learned is that when I was speaking to the Bank of Greene County, on this particular matter. They can do the bond for the 63 or the $68,000 whenever you want. And they use the same bonding attorney that I recommended and that I used, Oric Douglas Goodfriend from New York. So that can be, again, teed up in short order, but I want to wait until this meeting on it's the 20th.
I believe so.
Yes, it is the 20th at 1 o'clock. Well, and I'll be able to let you know that.
Okay. Then the Vogue funds, the amounts that we awarded are still not to be distributed yet?
Correct, not until the trust is set up.
Okay.
And we said we can use 90%
Of the interest earned,
interest earned.
that's what we sought in the
Annually.
petition. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Right.
Did you see the decision?
No.
I sent it to John.
And I sent it to all the board members.
Okay,
Oh,
maybe I did.
okay.
It's out there.
Oh, a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing with the water is we have to develop an ordinance because it's lacking. There is no ordinance. And we got to come into the 21st century. Make this right from the beginning.
No nets for what?
Water,
For the water district.
yes. Correct.
To establish it.
Well, it is established. We have to do a 202B proceeding under the town law once we determine the extent and the amount of the costs involved with the improvements. And then along with that, we need to draft a water ordinance as to the proper use of the water and capital charges and operation and maintenance expenses on an annual basis, how they're going to be charged to the 79 users. That's what that's about.
Do you get on that after Christmas?
Pardon me?
Get on that after Christmas?
I'm gonna do it right along here because I don't want to slow Edwin down or Jareen, but they're doing a great job.
So part of this grant, which I should have asked you earlier, this funding award remains in effect through September 30, 2026, by which time a project finance agreement must be executed.
Right.
So
So we're gonna talk about that with the Environmental Facilities Corporation on Wednesday.
okay, all right,
You got it on, John.
good. We worked hard to get that money.
Well, you worked hard to get here. Edwin worked hard to get here with Jareen.
A lot of people worked hard.
That's right.
Group effort. I saw it on the news tonight, by the way. I was offended that they didn't mention my name. No, I'm just kidding. So I make a motion to accept the attorney's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jason, highway recycling.
Good evening. Alrighty, so remember, the salt shed is full. Our trucks are being prepped and ready for winter. We basically have them all together, just have a few plows to throw on and I'll be ready to go for winter. We'll continue winter preparations, continue tree trimming and ditching as long as the weather remains decent out. I will be relisting truck 00 on Auctions International. We previously had board authority to auction it off. We didn't receive a very, very high bid on it, so we'll try again to sell that this next few weeks. The Albany County Soil and Water Grant paperwork has been completed. It's been sent in. We should expect our payment within the next 30 days. That's of $40,000. All the CHIPS paperwork was submitted back in September, so we should expect to see our payment in December, and the total for that is $401,221. That should be made in the December payment. And overall, our budget is in really good shape this year, and The highway department is continuing to function well. In the recycling department, I did speak with John Whitbeck the other day. So he's volunteered to continue to run the facility. He has expressed and continuing to run the facility, as well as Mike Jardine and Doyle Shaver. The three of them thought that they could split the duties up and kind of share the duties. So we're going to work on trying to put a schedule together and make that work. Also, Christmas Day and New Year's Day are both Wednesdays. Will be closed. Obviously, those days will be open the Thursday after, so it'll be the day after Christmas and the day after New Year's. So, and that concludes my report. Unless we have any questions.
Highway superintendent report.
Wait a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thanks, Jason. Town clerk,
So for October, we have the numbers. Water and sewer payments were due by October 31st, so we won't be collecting any more of those till January, or till we send new bills out at the beginning of the year. Hunting licenses are actually busy today, but we've kept right in line with sales as we have in the past. Like I said before, I was really surprised. I thought with the paper licenses and the ability to print at home that our sales would drop significantly, but they haven't. So I'm very happy to see everybody coming in still. And I wanted to thank our volunteer drivers, none of which are here tonight, but hopefully somebody's listening. They've been phenomenal. We don't have a few, we rely on a handful, and the senior car for seniors doctor's appointments has been crazy busy. And they've really stepped up and helped out. Alan Kleichman came in the other day and I said, gee, you're late, Alan. And he said, well, I made a little stop, and he stopped to wash the car and clean the inside. So he didn't have to do that. I thought that was wonderful. And just so everybody's name is out there, Ellen Kleichman, Sue Davis, she's from Westerlo, Glenn Yellick from Rensselaerville, Mike Sikuli has been busy with his business, but we'll be calling him again. Tom and Ruthie Snyder, and Marianne Witt, who's also from Westerlo. She's been off our list for a little. She's had family to take care of, so we're hoping that she comes back as a volunteer driver. But a boatload of thanks to all of those volunteer drivers.
speaking of thanks, about, I'm not sure which meeting we had, the last one or the one before, about thanking them with gift certificates or something to that effect. Do you recall that, Phil?
No,
Good. What did you guys,
well,
you did discuss it.
Yeah.
But I don't recall the outcome.
well, it would be a gift of public funds
Right.
to do that, so I can't recommend that you do it.
Okay.
Then I don't.
Do we get any donations for the senior project or senior car or something like that? We don't do that anymore.
We got a lot when Bob Oldie passed, but that's trickled down. We haven't had any in quite a while. One of the families from Westville that went frequently, I won't mention any names, but they would occasionally throw us $20 for a donation. They may thank the drivers personally with a cup of coffee or lunch, I'm not even sure. But the short answer to your question is no.
How many drivers are there?
4 steady, 3. But November, every day, except 2 days, and this whole entire month of November was taken. Car was out.
All right, so the attorney reports that there will be a gift of public funds, so we can't do that through the town, but we can do it personally.
Why not submit a request to the boat fund?
They get paid, like, they'd probably be dead before they got paid. Sorry. You or anybody
Yeah.
else on the board, if we wanted to come up with something, I would be happy.
Yeah, we
I
appreciate
mean,
that.
it's certainly a valuable asset to have in the town to help, our seniors. It's, not something that we could afford to do if we had to hire somebody full-time to go do it and have a senior service. So I'm certainly up to,
Okay, so we'll converse amongst ourselves.
I move we accept the town clerk's report.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Tim Lippert, Code Enforcement, Building Inspector. Good evening.
As Madam Clerk said, we took in $1,988 for building permits, and some other fees for subdivisions and file searches. We come up with a department total of $3,113. We're working on closing out some permits and getting renewals on some of the open permits that are out there. Kathy's been moving files to the back closet, which is kind of good. We have to do an inventory of the RV permits. It seems like there's a whole lot of campers in town than there are permits. So that's the next couple of weeks. We're gonna do a fact check and see what we got and what we don't got on that. Some inspections and violations and stuff. That's about it.
And we were talking about the blighted buildings before while you weren't here, how some of these fees that we're charging have encouraged people to transfer ownership.
It makes them think about it. Like, do I really need this building or not? So we were able to move at least one.
Okay, I make a motion to accept the Code Enforcement Building Inspector.
I'll second it. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. All right, I was looking for the assessors report. So this is the assessors written report. For the month of October, we received a total of 8 transfers, 3 residential, 3 for estate planning, and 2 vacant land. We have been busy entering all re-levies for the upcoming 2025 property tax bills. We answered calls about school tax bills and exemptions. There has been an amendment to the firefighters exemption for next year. This change will allow a firefighter EMS member who lives outside of the town in which the member serves to still receive the exemption in the town which he resides.
From the town should be.
John, we have a chief in our fire department that lives in the town of Durham. So what it's to do is if the town of Durham were to adopt that resolution, which I think they did, he could get the tax exemption from the town of Durham for being a tri-village firefighter.
Okay. Okay. So that makes sense. Due to some health issues, Pete's been ill. He's been working remotely, and will continue until his health improves. Deb is in the office Wednesday and Thursday, 9 a.m. to noon. Yours truly, Peter Holtail. I wish him good health. I make a motion to accept the assessor's report.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Water Sewer Committee.
Not that bad. All right.
Good evening.
Good evening.
If you've got the printed version of my report, I know it looks kind of wordy. I'll do my best to. The lead service line inventory was completed and we submitted it on time, October 16th, to the EPA. There were a couple of addresses that we couldn't actually verify whether they were lead or copper, but we are obligated to continue to do that research and update the report as time goes on. Fortunately for us, it doesn't look like there'll be any new buildings added to the water district. So once we get this completed, I think we'll actually be done with it. DWSP2, Drinking Water Source Protection Program, is one that's been ongoing. I think you've heard me talk about it before. The next meeting is on November the 26th. These are monthly meetings, I believe. And I just wanted to point out that there are stakeholders from the Water Committee, the Planning Board, the Hike Preserve, and actually someone from Byrne. I forget what position they hold, but the protection is not just for Rensselaerville, but the watershed that also is a part of Byrne. So we have Byrne participation as well. And that's moving along nicely. Not much more to tell you there at the moment. Unfortunately, we have discovered a slow leak at the Methodist Hill pump vault. It isn't causing too much of a drain on our water system, but it is something we need to deal with because, of course, I'm not sure what that would mean, but there is the vault that continues, gets soaked into the ground. When it freezes, it's not going to soak into the ground, so that's going to become an issue. It's taken us a while, actually, but we finally have a contractor coming tomorrow morning to take a look and see what we can do to accomplish a resolution.
Who's that contractor?
It's Andre Nadeau.
Okay, good.
Yeah. There were quite a few people that we reached out to, but it's been difficult to get somebody to come. The EPA administrative order, although it seems just to be a formality, we did receive yet another confirmation that our corrective action plan was accepted by the EPA, and so that goes on the books. If you recall, the administrative order basically states that we've broken the law by not providing quality drinking water to the users because of the disinfection byproducts that get reported on an occasional basis. And so we put together a plan where we can mitigate those issues prior to this upgrade that we're all anxious to hear about. So that will be temporary work that gets done in the next year or two. We don't get to talk much about the sewer system, but now I get to tonight. We have officially submitted an application to the DEC to amend the bank of 10 Mile Creek right near the sewer plant. It is a point in the creek where equipment could actually cross the creek, go to the leach field, brush hog it, and then return. But unfortunately, over time, and I guess because it hadn't been addressed in several years, the bank has sort of eroded and no tractor would get, a tractor might get across, but they never get back. And there is no other egress to the leach field without crossing other people's property, et cetera. So we have yet to hear back from them, but basically the idea would be to restore the stone embankment that was there once before. And last but not least, the big news is that Supervisor Dolce and some other stakeholders received notification from the New York State Department of Health of a Drinking Water State Revolving Fund grant award in response to talking about that also long ago. The award is in effect states right from the letter, in fact, says this project is eligible for a base DWSRF grant award of $1,786,250 and interest-free financing of $536,000 for a term up to 30 years. That, in fact, is the total cost of the project that we submitted, over $2.5 million. And this is essentially the best deal that any municipality in this state can get, a 70-30 split. So we've got 70% grant money eligibility, as well as an ability to pursue a 0% financing bond for the remaining 30%. So that's great news, something to celebrate. And this is a lot of hard work. Well, I figured out it's about 19 months of work between the water committee, volunteers. The town board has been terrific in your support for what we've finally gotten to. The list of people that have helped us out is way too long to go into right now, but I do specifically want to raise a flag for sustainable growth. Once again, Jaron Corallo and Mary Carney have we wouldn't have gotten here without their support and their ability to do what they do. Frankly, it'd probably take years for us to accomplish what we've done in the 19 months. So my hat's off to them and my thanks is to them. One thing I want to be clear, and John, you brought it up with the attorney bill just a minute ago. Can I call you Attorney Bill? Is that all right? Yeah. That this letter speaks of eligibility. It means we don't have a deal yet. The deal is that PFA that you mentioned. They love acronyms, don't they? It's a
Project finance agreement.
thank you very much. Project financing agreement, and that is the agreement that we settle on and all the criteria that goes into them actually giving us the money for the project. All has to be done pro forma and, all above board and legal. And then there's actually a document signing. And of course, that would probably be in your wheelhouse in support of the water district. So thank you very much for your attention. And that is my report for tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
It's a team effort.
You're a good coach.
I make a motion to accept the water sewer committee report.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. Okay, next is the planning board. Annie, you want to speak on this, or would you like me to just read it?
Yeah, I can speak to it.
All right, well, good evening, everybody. So the Town of Rensselaerville Planning Board received a vacancy for our 7th member back in June. We had done numerous postings throughout the town social media site, the signage over the summer and into the fall for a new applicant to fill that vacancy. So we are a 7-person board currently operating with 6 at this time, and we were looking to fill that 7th seat. So over the course of October 3rd and November 7th, we conducted interviews for 3 applicants that we had. Those 3 applicants were all, they're great, representation of the community and all the skills that we have there. Ultimately, the planning board did decide to appoint 1 applicant. That was Mr. Rob Pondicio, who is in that letter that you all have there. So Rob has been pretty paramount in the community here through all his community work at the Rensselaerville Library, the Medusa Firehouse, amongst other committees that he serves on. And ultimately, the board felt that Rob's background and the reasons why that he wanted to be on the board were best equipped. So we did complete those interviews last Thursday on November 7th. The board, in that interview process, you'll see that we have 9 questions that guided the interview process for all 3 applicants. And it was a pretty clear vote. So applicant A received 1 vote in favor, applicant B, no votes in favor, and then applicant C received 4 votes. So you'll probably be thinking that math doesn't add up if it's a 6-person board, but one of our board members abstained from voting as they were not there for the first round of interviews, so it was best that they did abstain. And our town liaison, Pete Somerville, was present for the first 2 interviews on October 3rd. So we're respectfully requesting the appointment of Mr. Rob Pondicio to begin, subject to your approval, next Thursday, November 21st. He would assume Ann Amador's vacant seat.
And you have a resolution to that effect.
Yes. we got it. Okay, I'll read the resolution. Whereas Ann Amador resigned from the Town of Rensselaerville Planning Board effective June 21, 24, and such resignation created a vacancy, and whereas pursuant to section 64.5, 271.8 of the Town Law, Article 8, Section 9B of the Town of Rensselaerville Code, the Town Board shall appoint a person to fill the vacancy for the remainder of the term. The term expires on December 31, 24. The Planning Board interviewed applicants to fill the vacancy and made a recommendation to this Town Board. And Robert Prendicio was recommended by the Planning Board and is qualified to be appointed to the Planning Board. Now therefore be it resolved by the duly conveyed Town Board of the Town of Rensselaerville, blah, 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 blah. I'm not gonna, Robert Prendicio is appointed as a Planning Board member to fill the vacancy created by Ann Amador, effective upon the filing of the oath of office, and he shall hold that position until December 31, 2024. By motion made by John Dolce and seconded
I'll second it. I'll second it.
Pete. Resolution was adopted by a majority of the members of the Town Board. So John Dolce is an aye, Randy Bates,
Aye.
Pete Somerville,
Aye.
Ed Van Auken,
Aye.
and Brian Wood.
Aye.
That motion's carried.
That is effective today. So thank you. I appreciate it. And I want to thank all the applicants if they're listening for their time. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Anna, thanks for your work. Okay, moving on. Legal notice for seasonal roads. Of course, every year, we have to post legal notices for roads that are gonna be closed in the winter. I make a motion to allow the town clerk to, do we have a list of those? I don't have to read the list of seasonal roads, do we? You
There
do?
is a list right here.
All right, so the town, the following roads are limited use highways and will not be maintained from December 1 to 24 through April 1, 25. Gulf Road extension from Gulf Road to the northerly end of state lands. Is that road even a road anymore?
Extension, yes.
Oh, I thought that was the one that got washed out. That wasn't. Kenyon Road from the intersection of Roney Road to County Route 358. That's residential structure in from Pearson Road, Kenyon Road, Scott Road from the southerly end of State, CC Road, Edwards Hill Road from 500 feet in from State Route 145 to the top of the hill, and Brenner Lane. Dated November 14, 2024. So we make a mo.
I'll second your motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Presentation of unpaid water and sewer bills. And that's gonna get re-levied. So I'm just gonna say the totals, right, Vicky? So the water district, the total due is $13,727.88. And the sewer is $10,377.15. I make a motion to authorize the county to levy these bills to the 25 taxes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion carried.
Before you do the number 3, the authorization to consolidate the meetings, do we have to cancel the 28th?
November 28th.
No, December.
No, but
Oh,
thanks.
okay.
Are you talking
No,
about
the
Thanksgiving?
second meeting of the month, this month is on Thanksgiving. So we
Oh,
should cancel
I'm
that.
sorry, I missed that part too. We did that at the organizational meeting.
Oh, we
So-
did? Okay, sorry.
So we wouldn't have to do
Okay.
it now.
Sorry. Forgot that was a while ago. Okay. Then I make a motion that we consolidate the regular meeting of December 26th and also make that our final meeting of 2024.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. So Mr. Simons is retiring, so we need to allow Vicky to advertise for a court officer.
I move we authorize town clerk to advertise for a court officer.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
J before I.
Huh?
Do J before I.
That's not before the.
Do J before you
Oh,
do.
do J before I. Okay, audience comments, anyone? We're good, this is easy. Everybody happy? All right, good. So we need to go into executive session.
We can go into executive.
To discuss contractual issues. Is there a
And I'll
second?
second that.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. Motion